I've recently spent a bunch of time examining companies that do really well with their marketing. The biggest common element I've found is that the most successful ones follow one or more themes. Let's discuss these themes and have a look at the ones I most commonly see. All right, so let's spend a couple minutes talking about themes. Okay, backspace, backspace, backspace over that. I didn't have the control ready to go. All right, let's spend a couple minutes talking about themes. First off, kind of what comes to mind and what has really perplexed me over the years is what the heck is marketing anyhow? I actually went to the web and looked at some of the standard definitions. They're all pretty awful. The best one I could really come up with is that marketing is all the efforts that go into getting clients to choose you. Obviously, there's a lot packed into that, so we probably just won't even go down that road. But in terms of looking at that, it is a very abstract concept, means different things to different people. But what I can say is after 20 years of marketing, I think I've finally figured out that the companies I've seen succeed virtually always follow one or more themes. And actually, it's funny, if I'm being honest, it's probably 30 plus years, as I spent 10 years before getting into digital marketing. I spent 10 years doing print and production and had a digital printing shop and created marketing materials for years as well. Yeah, I guess that means I'm old. So looking into these marketing themes, one thing that I just love about it, since I've kind of adopted this concept in my own brain, is that it really clarifies things like SEO, social media, and all the channels. Because when you know what you're after and when you know what you're doing, and what your ultimate goals are and the whole theme around it, the pieces just kind of fall into place. If you figure out your themes and nail them down, they're actually really easy to understand and they get everybody in your organization on the same page regarding your marketing objectives. And lastly, like I was saying, with the themes, it's really easy to see why or why not you'd use the various marketing channels and how you should use them. And these days I always hear people like, oh my God, we need to be on Instagram, or we need to do better with SEO, or we need to create a Facebook private group, all these things. And the reality is that's kind of the tail leading the horse. I'm not even sure if that's a proper expression, but we'll go with that. And more or less, unless you know what you want to do, it's kind of impossible to do a good job knowing how to do it. So jumping into these themes, I'll just quickly explain them. We go into more depth in all of these themes. And again, these are both offline and online, but the things where I see local businesses really succeed is they'll get good at a theme. And so I know people who have built huge businesses, really successful businesses through networking, getting out, meeting people. This is something, obviously there's a offline component, big offline component, but then you can leverage online tools to become better as a networker. You can look at the marketing theme of being a thought leader. And inherent in that is also being an inbound marketer and rather getting people to come to you because they trust and value your opinion. That's what I've done in two different businesses now personally. And that's actually my favorite theme. And well, to be honest, this is a third business where we're looking at doing that, looking at adding value and having people come to us when they need help. You can be a community leader in your local community. Again, there's a lot of offline activities there, and then there is the ways to leverage that online, likely through social media. You can be an advertising leader. Basically, with offline or online advertising, the better you get at it, the more you can afford to outspend your competition. So that's an area where if you decide to become excellent in that area, the rewards are pretty huge. You can become a promoter. You can get really good at promoting your business, having events and doing all sorts of things along those lines. In other words, you can be a client cheerleader. I always have a hard time bragging about my own business, but if you have clients that are doing great things, you can brag and be a cheerleader for those clients and tell the whole world about them and how proud you are of them, how great they're doing. And that actually reflects on you because you're going to include in there the fact that they're working with you, possibly using your service. maybe you're helping them with some of those things. But that's another strategy that can work really well. Again, things like social media, some content marketing come strongly into play with that one. You can be a brand leader. Simply put, you can do all the work to create a meticulous brand and give the impression that you're just the most professional company or the best company in your space through your branding. And yeah, another one, niche specialist is another one that, gosh, I think this could be the most powerful one. And I've personally never really had the discipline to go deep on it, but picking just one specialty area and becoming a real expert at it, whether that's a subset of your industry, whether that's picking an industry, a very specific industry that you serve, and becoming the best person or the best company in the world that's serving that niche. Tons of power in that. And again, as I mentioned, all of these things are ideally executed with a mix of both online and offline activities. One thing I'll mention too is you can do multiple themes, but you should absolutely pick a main one and get really great at it before adding them. Doing a bunch of things poorly is just no replacement for doing one thing really well. And one thing you'll find is that success grows on success. So if you can pick something to be your real focus and then kind of not branch out until you've kind of mastered it, that's a really powerful way to go. And I hope this all makes sense, and I really hope that you join us on the in-depth videos for the different theme areas. And yeah, no need to watch them all, but the ones that sort of are of interest to you, I think you'll find some value and will provide some clarity on the things that you do in those different areas. Thanks for your time. We'll see you soon, hopefully.